very good morning and Assalamualaikum for all audience and panelists. It was a great day today to discuss and debate about news. Nowadays, many underestimate about the most important aspect of a person, namely morality. Today, we see morality increasingly degraded in identity education by some communities. We can also see that honesty and trust are increasingly marginalized, resulting in crimes such as fraud, corruption, and abuse of power. Morality is a character, temperament, behavior, or habit. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to perfect moral, as he said means. Indeed, I was sent to perfect noble moral. Hadis riwayat Al-Hakim. Thus, it is clear that morality is a reflection from within a person who has knowledge and manners. Besides, there are so many opinions about ways to have a good moral and how to avoid bad trait in ourselves from this problem. So, today's panelists will share the information with us, among whom we invite. There's Miss Nur Halida Hazwa binti Zaini from SMK Tanjung Putri. She is a teacher. In left her, there is Mr. Nur Iman Ashraf bin Shamfuddin as a counselor. Next, Datuk Nur Dania Farhana binti Muhammad Fauzi as a financial advisor on Bank Negara Malaysia. And lastly, Madam Amal Kristina binti Muhammad Noor as a famous motivator. I asked my first question to Ms. Halida about how we went to instill good moral in someone.
Morals are formed out of a person's values. Values are the foundation of a person's ability to judge between right and wrong. Morals build on this to form specific, context-driven rules that govern a person's behavior. They are formed from a person's life experience and are subject to opinion. Instill good morals like, is there really a standard moral code in society these days? Yes, while most people follow society's laws, they also abide by certain social norms, which are governed by morals. While morals tend to be driven by personal beliefs and values, there are certainly some common morals that most people agree on, such as always tell the truth, do not destroy property, have courage, keep your promises, do not cheat, treat others as you want to be treated, be forgiving, take responsibility for your actions, have patience, have respect for yourself and others.
Thank you, Ms. Halida, for the answer given. Just now, Ms. Halida has explained how we can instill good moral in ourselves and what is Mr. Ashraf's opinion as a counselor about how we went to avoid this bad trait in ourselves.
Thank you, Mrs. Fatin, for your questions. Okay, for example of bad human traits is arrogance, deception, delusion, dishonesty, and others. Those attitudes are attitudes that we need to discard in ourselves. We need to start thinking positive. Main is trying to focus on possibilities, always read inspiring stories. By doing such a thing that can motivate yourself and try to work out daily to keep yourself organized, because you can only work if you know what assignments need to be complete. You can set simple and achievable goals. Do not be selfish, because selfishness is a bad trait that you need to get rid of to achieve your goals. There are individuals who do not want to get help from others because they do not want to share their expected success.
Thank you, Mr. Ashraf, for the answer given. In general, nowadays, most of the administration become so selfish that they start stealing money from the ruler or harassing common people to get unreasonable benefit. So, what are the tips for fighting the corruption in our life, Datuk Dania Farhana?
Right, for this question, I think the most important thing is we have to know what might be the root cause of corruption, which could be the level of satisfaction of the employees. We also can look at this from several perspectives. Their needs are not just money, but also professional growth, okay? Such as skills and expertise. For some people, their career path is not moving as fast as the others, and everyone has their own time when it comes to skills. As a Muslim, we have to keep in the war and pray. Then our business, our works will run smoothly and execute the objective of ruler. Hence, honestly is classified as good or moral behavior.
Thank you, Datuk Dania Farhana, for the answer given. As a well-known motivator, what are the causes and effects of corruption in our country, Madam Christina?
Thanks to the moderator, I will answer that question. That is, this study has been able to identify the internal factors that influence the intention to commit corruption is neglecting religious values and demands, selfishness, luxury, lifestyle, demands beyond their ability and greed. Among the causes of this occurrence are personal weakness, such as lack of faith and piety. One knows that corruption is forbidden by religion and law, but it is done as well with 1,001 personal reasons. Among other reasons may occur as a result of our own social and culture. Malaysia practicing the tradition of giving gifts in the form of money and things in conjunction with celebrating the day's greatness of festive days, birthday parties, weddings, and so on. This is a good day giving bribes to commit bribe, whether requested bribe or paid without realizing it. Next is modernization, socio-economic development that is not balanced with spiritual development will facilitate. Next is modernization, socio-economic development that is not balanced with spiritual development will facilitate corruption. Emerging development projects like mushrooms growing, cash flow will also increase. Those involved as well take the opportunity to make as much profit as possible. Moderation showing contractors racing to get tenders. The biggest effect of the symptom of corruption is that it will cause administration. A country becomes a mess. As a result, it causes other problems such as a deterioration economy, neglect of public interest, and so on. A culture of Corruption is also possible destroying the administration and governance of a country, as is the case in the Philippines, recorded the history of the fall of the Marcos presidential government from leadership due to practice unstoppable corruption.
Thank you, Madam Christina, for the answer given. As we heard earlier, Miss Halida said we cannot shade in every conversation. So, what are the bad effects if we shade, Miss Halida?
If we keep seeing the consequence and bad effects of lying results, if we like to lie, the surrounding community is difficult to place trust and have bad suspicions towards us. As a result, you will easily feel depressed because life is not what you wanted it to be. Next, realize that lying is a sin. Whenever you want to lie, remember that it is one of the characteristics of a hypocrite, and the act of lying is sinful. Stay away from lying tongue. If we can avoid attitudes such as cheating, it will have a good effect on ourselves and society.
Thank you, Miss Halida, for the answer given. Turn to Mr. Ashraf. In your opinion, how do we get rid to trait like lying in ourselves and society?
I have 2 points to answer this question. Okay, point number 1 is be careful in making friends. We need to see who we are friends. For example, if he's speaking like gossip and slander, and then when doing business like to lie about skills, the quality and quantity, so we need to avoid such friends because we do not get the slightest benefit from them. So we can find a good friend. We need to look for friends who are always advise with kindness and always advise with patience. Okay, point number 2 is practice frankness. Sometimes the mouth speaks the word without thinking long, especially when we make mistakes. We make our own mistakes even though if we are honest, the problem can be solved quickly and easily. So, be honest with yourself and others. In fact, it can avoid feeling anxious, upset, and afraid if every lie is exposed. Honesty and being always honest is a praiseworthy attitude that needs to be inculcated in the believer.
Thank you, Mr. Ashraf, for the answer given. As a financial advisor, what is the effect if good moral value are ignored? Datuk Dania Farhana.
Alright, for this question, not everyone with a negative attitude is born that way. Since negativity is a learned response, it can be taught to an otherwise content child. Like a parent with a negative attitude is modeling this way of thinking, and the child learns, for example, to be pessimistic. Life experiences can also teach you to expect the worst from people and situations. A history of trauma, abuse, or failure in spite of your best efforts may train you to anticipate negative outcomes. Okay. Next, seeing the worst in others. Pessimists have a low opinion of human nature and tend to expect the worst from others. They will predict failure and poor behavior when dealing with another person, regardless of evidence to the contrary of the individual's character or accomplishments. Okay, these bragging remarks are not uncommon. The pessimist will attribute the failure of others to the individual's flaws or bad intentions, ignoring the role of circumstance. Next, expecting negative outcomes without cause. Okay, a person with a negative attitude will enter new endeavors with low expectations. His skills, experience, and past achievements are inconsequential. He believes because he anticipates obstacle instead of success. With his consciousness, those prepared for failure, it becomes almost inevitable. He sabotages his own aspirations. Even when circumstances do work in his favor, he quickly dismisses the occurrence. Okay, blame. Okay, having a negative attitude is, in some ways, a defense mechanism. Okay, when things go wrong, the pessimist will usually find some factor outside his control to blame. Okay, circumstance, the weather, the economy, and often the actions of others take the rap for his predicaments. Placing blame outside himself frees the pessimist from responsibility for his own stage of being.
Thank you, Datuk Dania Farhana, for the answer given. For the last question, why something moral is important in life? Madam Christina?
Because morals are sufficient in all aspects of human life. Therefore, as a human being, one must behave well in accordance with the Quran and Hadith, because the one's morals are reflected in someone. The good and the bad of a person can be seen from his morals. When a person's morals are good, then his birth and inner well-being are prosperous. However, when a person's morals are bad, then his birth and mind are damaged indeed. Good morals will make a person always safe, calm, and the absence of reprehensible acts. A person of noble character always performs his obligations. The obligation to himself is his right. Morality is a basic human trait that has been brought from birth, both male and female. Okay, that's all my description. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Christina, for the answer given. As a whole, morals are very important for a person, whether good or bad. It is also not evaluated according to level, age, religion, race, and country. Morality is also a reflection in a person. To many bad effects, if we practice bad qualities in ourselves compared to good qualities, in fact, there will be more hated and looked down upon by those around us. So, in order to have good moral, it needs to be applied in oneself from an early age. So, in conclusion, it is important as Muslims to learn to educate ourselves and the people under our responsibility by the way Islam applies moral education. It is mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Indeed, in a human being there is a piece of flesh. If it is good, all its limbs are good, but if it's the damaged and dirty, then it is dirty and all its limbs are damaged. The mean is the heart." Hadis riwayat Bukhari and Muslim. Ladies and gentlemen, finally we come to the end part of our discussion. We would like to say thanks again to panelists for the informative and interesting talk and to audience for active participation. Hopefully the discussion will be beneficial for everybody. Thank you for our attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.